We've got some more new toys from TaylorMade, the new wedge. I'm going to put these through their paces very shortly. I've got a Wentworth giveaway coming up, and also Rory almost wins again, losing the playoff to Sebastian Soderbread. You better keep watching. Okay, it's about time we had something new. This is the new TaylorMade Wedge, the mill grind 2 wedge with raw face technology. I'm actually just going to take this wrapper off, and this is to protect the face from rusting whilst your shops are in store. Just take a little bit of getting off, so well done there TaylorMade, you've put that on nicely. The idea of this face, the face will rust, gives you more spin. Apparently we'll find out in a little while. However, the rest of the club won't rust provided you look after it. TaylorMade have done a couple of other things as well. They've put an insert in the back of the club to dampen vibrations, give you a more solid and positive, in their words, positive feel at impact. It's going to feel good, I'm sure. It looks very good. A little bit more weight in the top and the back of the club, again giving a more stable ball flight, more consistent ball flight throughout the bag. What I'll do, just to be fair, I'll hit the original mill grind wedge first, get some numbers. I'm going to use the 54, see how that performs. We're here at Wentworth. I did mention I've got a little Wentworth trip coming up. That's tomorrow, heading to Wentworth to go and play the golf course just 2 weeks before the PGA. I will bring back a souvenir, we'll bring back some memorabilia, and I will give it away on the channel. So make sure you subscribe and click that notifications buzzer as well, and we'll give that away to one of the subscribers very soon. You've got to be in it to win it. We're going to hit a shot, 98 yard pitch. My 54 should get about 98 yards, and we'll see how they stack up against each other. So we'll start with the original mill grind first. Okay, so we're using a brand new ball for this exercise. This is a brand new TP5 ball, 54 degree, nice strike on this. That seems to have climbed up the blade quite a bit, so I don't know if that'll actually get there. Not going to be a million miles away. Just a little bit short. And the original mill grind wedge, obviously it's got the ground sole, better ground interaction, used by a lot of tour players that play TaylorMade. They've gone for the grind, and we know that Tiger's put this same grind on all of his irons now as well. Let's give it one more. Again, both solid strikes. Just feels like that's climbing up the blade a little bit, and again a bit weaker the higher that club gets, or higher the ball gets up the blade, the shorter the distance will be. And sure enough, that one didn't fly at all. Let's go one more. The added weight to the new wedge, and certainly what TaylorMade Titleist have done with their Vokies, put weight at the top of the club, so when that ball does climb up the blade, it's still got a little bit of forward momentum. Let's just trap this one a little bit better, hopefully. There you go, that's a bit more like it. Should get somewhere there or thereabouts. Yeah, just coming up a little bit short. So that's the original. Let's get rid of that now and try the new one. Okay, so mill grind 2 this time, using a brand new ball still, and straight away as you set up to the ball, it's got a slightly different look to it. You can see all the marks on the face of that club, and this will rust. Like I've said, this will look ugly in no time at all. So whether or not your eyes can suit it, let's see if it does give us a more dampened strike and a more positive feel. I don't know really. It's hard to tell. It feels good. Whether that's dampened or not, or more positive, I don't know. There is a nice bit of golf ball on that face now though, so it's definitely spinning. Definitely grabbing the ball. And one thing you've got to remember, if it is gaining more spin, it's going to lose distance. You'd probably have to recalibrate your wedges if you're starting to get a lot more spin. Let's see if we can get this one all the way up there. Yeah, you know, I can feel a slightly more solid hit there. I don't know if it's positive, but it certainly feels a bit more solid, and I expect if the ball gets up the blade a bit more, just due to this extra weight, that it might still get there. One more. Let's see if we can get this one on target. Yeah, it does feel a bit more solid, having hit a couple of shots there. The proof will be, is it spinning more though than the original? Now a lot of that has got to do with the condition you're hitting off, the strike, obviously, the impact position, also the ball. So don't just expect something to start ripping back and spinning more. I'd like to test this over a good few weeks on the golf course, off the course, in wet, in dry. Remember what grooves actually do? Grooves are designed to disperse rubbish, disperse water. So just as long as you've got good grooves and nice and clean grooves, you've got every chance of getting some control. that face does feel like sandpaper, so it gives you the impression you're going to get lots of spin. Should we have a quick look at these numbers? Okay, so here we go, green versus red up on the screen here. MG2, the ball speed's come off at 82 miles an hour versus 77, so it has come off a little bit stronger, more positive, as TaylorMade said. Launch angle, slightly lower launch angle. Now, a couple of times I said with the 54 that it felt like it was climbing up the blade, maybe with that extra weight towards the top of the wedge here with that new MG2 has helped give me a slightly flatter ball flight, and this is the key. This is quite important. Look at that backspin, 10,105 with the MG2, the Milgrind 2, and only 9,000 with the original. Now just remember, that's quite a quick glimpse here. There's a good 1,000 more spin, carry 7 yards further, but also with the extra spin we're expecting it to come down and stop quite quickly. Certainly just looking at those numbers there, it's given me a little bit more of a penetrating flight, a flatter flight, but loaded with spin. So round the golf course that I play here, St Anselm Links, that would be probably quite much appreciated. I think a lot of this is down to how high the ball got up the blade, certainly on that original Milgrind wedge. One thing I'm going to just compare it against, I'm currently using the high toe wedges, so the bronze high toe. Let's just see how it performs versus them. So this is my club, this is my 54, high toe, slightly different colour. Ball flight here. Again, that feels solid. I'm not going to argue that that doesn't feel any different solid wise to the new wedge. As you can see, quite like that, that's gone dead straight towards a pin, and I'm quite happy with the spin I get from this. The question would be, will this spin the same in wet conditions, or better or worse than the MG2? We'll only know when we play. Yeah, that's a nice strike as well. You know, one thing I'm going to say, I reckon these aren't spinning as much. I think the MG2's got a bit more spin going on because they're flying quite well, flying quite strong. The other interesting aspect is, even though these are all 54 degrees, what the launch angles are, the different launch angles will be. So let's just do one more and then compare these numbers, okay? Okay, so we've added the high toe into the mix here, the blue line. It's carried the furthest, it's gone the furthest. The ball speed was hotter, it came off another 1.5 miles at a mile an hour more, a bit hotter. Still that flatter ball flight, so 31 degree launch angle versus 34 with the original Milgrind. And yet again, still lower spinning, 9.9 versus 1,001. So 200 revs lower ball spin with the high toe versus the MG2. So actually, looking at what we're seeing here, it's doing what it says on the can at the minute. That new wedge is spinning more. Just remember, if you want to try any of these out, come and spend some time with me here at St Anselm Links, or the team down at the Golf Academy, and actually try it for yourself. Because that's just in one little quick exercise in an indoor studio, controlled conditions, off a mat. Just remember, off the grass, with a bit of moisture around, things could be totally different. But in my opinion, despite my my skepticism, it actually does spin a little bit more, and it feels quite solid. One other thing to mention, it also comes in a matte black finish as well as the satin chrome. Well, that's enough wedges, so back to St Anselm Links here. Over the weekend, another brutal day on Saturday. Well done though to Greg Cave, net 73 off the yellow tees. That shows you how tough it was winning the competition. Well done, you've won the Ashton Bowl, as it is the start of Ashton Week. Yes, today we have our Seniors Open. Wednesday we have a mixed. Friday it's the men's 4-ball, and then our flagship event on Sunday, the Ashton Trophy, where we attract some of the best golfers, scratch golfers from across the country. So well done Greg. This Saturday also, sandwiched in between, is the President's Trophy. A big event. We wish the President this year, Benny Lynch, good luck for this event, and I'm sure you'll all give it your best. And many of you will be attending the President's Irish evening this Saturday night. So that's about it from me this week. Thanks again for watching. Do appreciate it. If you do subscribe already, thank you. If you don't, give us a subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and give us a thumbs up. Maybe comment below, tell me what we'd like to look at and review. In the meantime, if you are local, pop down to the team at Lytham Golf Academy. They are now serving hot food. We've got a nice new coffee machine in there, and also snacks available every single day. They're in the middle of a sale as well, so you might just go and grab a bargain. Like I said, we've got a very busy week here, and we better crack on. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all very soon.